talked about we've been discussing the immediate effects of all this, and as a teacher with hopefully many more years at the school, I'm worried about the long run here, the long game, about going to a new union. We've talked about finances, immediate consequences of finances. We've talked about unfair labor practices being sort of one tool in the arsenal of this organization. Should go with this one. Can you speak to both of those and maybe your component as we go 10, 15, 20 years into the future? How susceptible to rate fluctuations are we? I mean, that is the rate that we would pay you or someone like you. What other tools in our arsenal do we have to fight back if we need to fight back or file something like an unfair labor practice? And finally, I see your component is probably a pretty important component of this, especially when it comes to negotiating time. You said you're in retirement, so fair to say you probably won't be negotiating contracts when I'm approaching retirement. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that component when that component changes with a local union as opposed to an OEA union? Have you ever seen that as have you ever seen a union fall apart because the representation changes from the lead standpoint?
Yeah, no, that's good. I've seen it happen more with the union leadership than the outside attorneys. I was asked this question when we sat down, and my answer was, well, I feel pretty good, and I'm enjoying it. But that's really one reason that it's a good thing that I'm in a 12-person firm. That even though I'm the school specialist, others are getting into that more with me, and everybody there I think is a very capable lawyer. On the other hand, one of that company union I represent, they had the same attorney for about 20 years, and they came to me 2 years ago, and I've been representing them ever since. And I think if you ask them, they'd say, although the last person did fine, it was a pretty smooth transition. It worked pretty well. But you did mention something that I think about a lot, and that is the whole idea of what's going on now. I mean, 15 years ago, if somebody had said that every year a teacher isn't going to be making, or a teacher will be making more, we all thought every year somebody taught they'd be making more the next year. The 16 years I was with Cincinnati Public, the 32 years I was in public law administration, never once did I not make more the next year. And I know that's happened. I don't know if it's happened here, but with increases in health care or, as you all have experienced, no raise, no steps, you can actually be netting less the year before. And that was absolutely unheard of. So things have changed, which quickly, and I know there's a question up here too, quickly, let me say that I know that you all, that it was a real shock to everybody just a few years ago when Senate Bill 5 was in effect and everybody was real uncertain what was going to happen, and you all did get flatlined, and that was a real shocker. And I know that that planted a lot of worry, understandably, about how much the community still supported the schools, etc. That was, I think, a very unusual piece. That's not going to happen again. I think Wisconsin and Ohio would be the last two places to ever try something like that again. But I think we're coming around to seeing at least things getting a little better as far as salary goes. Unfortunately, we've seen retirement get diminished pretty badly.
Yeah, I guess my question on the raise wasn't our salary, but the raise that we pay into the union, I guess the retainer that
your dues?
The dues. Would we be more susceptible in our dues to a severe spike in what we pay than we would be with OEA?
Honestly, our dues right now with OEA are $757.
They're more now than they would be if we change. Right.
And we're going to back them off to $400. But the other independents that I've talked to, we're still about 2 times too much.
Okay.
Solon City Schools is 200, Shaker Heights is 150. Xavier, Tom, didn't you say they're $25?
$25 a year.
Yeah. So I think we're collecting too much.
Right,
But I would
my
go
question deals with strength of membership. I mean, they're just, getting as many people
Right.
to join this union as possible.
Right.
And that, an issue of changing a raise from year to year, whether that's possible. Obviously, in the next 15 years, the rates that we pay will have to go up because of inflation and everything else. But,
I guess I can't guarantee you.
right.
But I can add another piece to that helps, I think. CERM referees that too.
Okay.
Membership has a say in their dues that CERM referees for them. So when I was with Cincinnati Public, I always loved it because that's the time I got to step back and the members in the union had to duke it out if there was an issue about that. So, good point. Good point. It's not like one of those things where, take this and we'll be cheap at first and then we've got the leverage to do what we want.